Out of every movie that I've watched, out of every TV show that I've seen, out of every book that I've read, there have been two characters that have stood out to me as, honestly, characters that I liked more than pretty much any character in any cinema or like whatever it may be that I've seen. That being Anakin Skywalker and that being Light Yagami. I always found myself relating to these characters because I honestly, truthfully believe that they are inherently good. Hear me out. I'd love to know what you guys think in the comments down below. Afterwards, we're going to get into it in just a second on why I believe these characters are inherently good. We're going to get into it in just a second. Before we do, though, I do want to say hello, everybody, and welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Kyle. I'm your guy with too many YouTube channels. Let's talk about these two characters. Now, it is important to note that, of course, if you followed either story, and I will have spoilers, obviously, if you haven't seen either Death Note or anything of the Star Wars story, it is important to note that both of these characters have been corrupted. I am arguing here today that they are inherently good before they've been corrupted. Obviously, Anakin has turned to the dark side and done unspeakable things. Obviously, Light Yagami kind of goes crazy and starts killing people. I don't know if it ends up being for fun. That's up for debate. Regardless, these two guys went completely haywire, okay? So I want to talk about their initial philosophy. I want to talk about their initial standpoints on like who they are. I'll start off a little bit with Anakin here because again, like everything that I've seen from Anakin Skywalker, especially in the Clone Wars, I really related to this guy. This guy is somebody who will do anything to protect his loved ones. And I kind of relate to that. I, of course, wouldn't go to the extent of killing kids, but you have to understand, like, as Anakin was corrupted, he's kind of in the mindset where it's like, okay, I'm saving these kids before they become tools of the Senate. You know what I mean? Kind of like all that. But I'm not here to argue about Anakin's corruption. I'm here to talk about, like, before Anakin turned to the dark side. Everybody's been talking about the Clone Wars. Oh, you see Anakin kind of try to transition. You see Anakin in the warning signs with him the entire way. I saw Anakin as, like, the only one really effective in the Clone Wars. I saw Anakin as the guy who was willing to do what it takes to win, and to win for the good guys, by the way. Whether or not you want to argue that the Council was the true good guys, they're better than the Sith. So they were the good guys in this. There's so many times where it's like, oh, well, you can't kill this guy, and Anakin has no problem. Like, hey, this guy sucks. This guy's going to do something bad again. I'm going to cut his head off, right? You want to talk about situations where the Jedi can't have any personal relationships. He's like, what the heck kind of crap is that? Ahsoka's trapped under a rock. I'm going to risk my life. I'm going to do everything that I can to go find her if there's a little bit of even a chance that she's alive. And talk about Padme. This is a guy, this is a man, this is a true man, a guy who is willing to do anything for the woman that he loves. And not even just her. This is a guy who is willing to do anything to protect the people close to him, to protect his friends, to protect the people close to him. Anakin Skywalker is willing to do what it takes to protect them. As soon as somebody threatens that, he's all guns blazing. He will hurt you, he will make you never forget it, and he will kill you. I see no issue with that. I see no issue, especially from what we've seen in the Star Wars. I see no issue with him taking action into his own hands and saying, screw the Jedi way, I'm going to take care of it. I'm going to go beat up this guy. I'm going to go force information out of him on where some, like, younglings are hiding or something along the lines of that. You know what I mean? Anakin Skywalker was the only one in that war who was doing the right thing. Protecting the people that he loved. That is an admirable trait. That is absolutely admirable. And people are like, of course, like the Jedi always took the high road, right? Everybody in the show took the high road. There's something that really stuck out to me. A quote from Anakin Skywalker, and it's something that I relate to in my own entire life. One time he told Padme, a serpent may shed its skin, but at the end of the day, he's still a serpent. Anakin Skywalker has the right philosophy. Anakin Skywalker he performs at the rate that he's supposed to as a friend, as a partner, as a man. I respect his attitude. I wholeheartedly do. This dude hated to see people die. This dude hated war. This dude hated slavery. Anakin Skywalker was to the point where it's like, okay, is this guy holding slaves? I'm going to kill him. Why should we reason with this guy? You know, I see no issue with that. I wholeheartedly share the opinion of Anakin Skywalker in that sense. But that leads me to Light Yagami, where it's both of these guys have the philosophy where it's like, people are rotten, okay? Light Yagami thinks the world is rotten. I find myself thinking that, to be honest with you. And I know how you can take this, to be honest with you. I know how you can take this. I'm not going to go crazy like these two. But Light Yagami had nothing but goodness in his heart when he used that Death Note. He's like, I'm going to punish criminals. And it worked. His philosophy worked. And if you were to apply the Death Note to real life, where it's like, okay, this God will just kill you if you do wrong, crime would slow down. You would have a better society. Light Yagami, you could even argue, though. You could even argue that Light Yagami, you could argue the same thing for Anakin, where if he was just left alone and just let him fix the world, everything would have been great. Light Yagami only started doing bad things and killing other people when people are trying to catch him, but why would you try to catch somebody who's punishing criminals like that? Why? I would commend that guy. I don't have to worry about somebody breaking into my house at night. I don't have to worry about somebody hurting my wife or children. That would be fantastic. I would be sitting here and I'd be thanking a guy like Light Yagami. I would be sitting here going, Kira, awesome work, man. Thank you so much for cleaning up the streets. I don't understand how there's even controversy beyond that. I don't care if it's somebody who steals. I don't care if it's somebody who just hurts somebody, makes a mistake. Bad people don't just like go around hurting people. You know what I mean? For example, the one where Light Yagami really, really started using the Death Note, where a guy was just harassing a woman. I believe it was at a gas station or a store. A guy was just harassing a woman, just like, touching her and stuff like that. Why do people who take advantage of women like that deserve a second chance? Why not just write their name in a book? I see no issue with that. Then Light Yagami started going off the rails because people started trying to catch him. What was he supposed to do? I mean, obviously, if I was in a spot, I wouldn't be killing them, right? Because they're good people and they didn't do anything wrong. But I understand Light's position. He's trying to fix the world. He was doing everything necessary to continue to fix the world. That's the only thing where I really differ from him, where if I had the Death Note and people were coming after me, I wouldn't be killing innocent people because I would understand where they're coming from. But Light's been put into a you or me situation. That's kind of the same thing where Anakin Skywalker was put into, where he has these feelings and he's essentially, and it's really tough because this is something that to be honest, I would tell him, where it's like, I'm scared that Padme's dying. Grow up. He's kind of been told, but like, you got to get over these feelings, Anakin. But they didn't really, as far as I know, they weren't really sure that those feelings that Padme were going to die is real. Nobody would help him. That's the problem. Anakin, the Jedi way was to have like no attachments, right? You have to be prepared to lose everything. But why should he? Why should he? Why? Like, if my wife was dying, I wouldn't just, okay, I got to understand that this is happening. I mean, of course, if it's like terminal or something like that, that's different. But if I have the power to go, like, if we're living in like a Jedi type world and there's magical powers to fix her, why would you not go out trying to search for something in Padme instead of like, well, Anakin, you can't have these feelings. There's nothing that you can do in this scenario. You have to just understand and you have to just let go. And Anakin's like, why are you telling me this stuff? And then somebody else comes in and offers him an alternative solution. Of course, he's going to get corrupted. So both of these characters, Light and Anakin Skywalker, and that's just the beginning of Anakin Skywalker, by the way. That is just the beginning. That's just like kind of what I'm relating to with his feelings, where it's like he would do anything to protect his wife. That's what I feel that so much, man. Light Yagami, protecting the world. These guys are inherently good and they were pushed to do evil things while the evil things were still under their umbrella. The evil things that they did are unspeakable. Darth Vader's actions, it's not even close to being forgivable. Same thing with Light Yagami when he just goes around killing people that are trying to catch him. That's not okay either, and that's where I jump off the train, but these people are inherently good. When the series began, before they were influenced to change, they were inherently good. How could you not commend people like that? How could you not commend Light Yagami, who's taking care of the people who are grabbing women at their will, he's taking care of people who are breaking into homes and scarring people for life? Why would you not want those people taken care of? Why would you not want a warrior protecting your galaxy like Anakin Skywalker, or instead of just, oh, well, we better make sure they don't come back? No, Anakin's going to go in there and take care of business. Anakin Skywalker is going to make sure that they don't come back. He's going to go in there himself, not give them a second chance. If some soldier is lost, Anakin Skywalker is going for one of their lives. These people are inherently good, and I've always found myself really relating to them. I understand that they have their fans, right? I understand they have their fans even just as fictional characters. But I wholeheartedly relate to these characters in the sense of that philosophy, and I don't know if anybody else really does, because there's a reason why these two are some of the greatest fictional characters in my opinion, because I share their ideas. And they've been written so well where it almost turned into a tragedy. Anakin turned into a tragedy. Light turned into a crazy man. Like, it's written so well and I love the stories, but I still found myself rooting for these characters at every turn. And that's why it hurt even more when I'm watching these shows and watching them. I'm like, no, Anakin, man, you've gone too far. You've been pushed over the edge. Or like, Light's become the criminal himself. Light's become the god of death himself, Such fantastic stories, such fantastic characters. But that is the entire reason why I believe those two characters are inherently good. Guys, I would love to know what you think down below. What do you think about either characters? You don't have to agree with either of them. I would just love to hear your opinion down below. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. If you were new here and you enjoy the content, please consider hitting the like button, help the channel a ton, and subscribe if you are brand new. On the screen right now, if you'd like to continue watching the Clenema channel, there'll be 2 videos on screen for you to check out. I will see you either there or in the next video, guys. Take care.